Hello, my name's Alex Shepley. I'm based at Wrexham University in the UK, and in this presentation, People, Place and Purpose, we're going to talk about place-based approaches to community engagement and sustainability. Humanity faces serious challenges in the coming decades: climate change, biodiversity loss, growing inequality and more. We have a collection of rules and norms that reward some behaviours and punish others. In their current form, our systems seem to incentivise overconsumption, degrade communal bonds, and destroy natural wealth. We are researching place-based approaches and how community-engaged arts practices around the theme of sustainability can enable a growing network of ecological citizens. The project is new, and in this initial phase we are engaged in a contextual review and looking at selected themes around health and well-being, nature and food, and exploring various locales in our region to explore the sharing of ideas, thoughts, and listen to the questions people ask about being local and learning from the best practices at a local level. Through engagement with a variety of partners, we hope to develop a regional network, identify opportunities for funding and knowledge sharing that can help to create sustenance for a community-based network. We plan this for the next 3.5 years to January 2027 and plan to contextualise our work with national and international examples. Ways of building a network of new and existing place-based arts research and knowledge exchange, which has the potential to include children and young people in the decision-making process, will be key, and through the strands of the project we will consider how examples with embedded creative practice, such as community growers, community larders, pantries, kitchens, forest schools, etc., support partnership through working with place-based projects. Our project takes a people-centred approach in their place as key to helping stakeholders, children and young people to make transitional choices, mitigate against negative consequences and empower local agency in different localities. We will aim to show how diverse groups of people can begin to make impactful change through, for example, community-focused approaches and community-led practices, activism and collective learning, advocacy and design thinking in projects. In order to develop our network of ecological citizens, we would like to hear back from anyone who is working in a similar space. When communities come together for health and well-being, they can move mountains. The images are taken from several projects where this has manifested itself. Mapio Madoc Criadogol, Creatively Mapping Madoc, was a collaborative underwater multidisciplinary artist project at Plasmadoc Leisure Centre in Wrexham, which culminated in a film. Whilst the project was underway, Wrexham Council announced the need to close the leisure centre due to the current climate of austerity, which lent a new imperative and emotion to the making of the film. Due to pressure from children and parents, it was then reopened as a community-run leisure centre. In between this, Paper Interior was a 3-year arts and science project with people with major depression, lead artists, researchers and psychiatrists. The project explored if patient changes were reflected in the way people express themselves and respond to their environment prior, during and post antidepressant medication. In addition to the aims of the psychiatrists as artist researchers, we were keen to explore the role of pre-verbal language and creativity for patients navigating the in-betweenness from depression to recovery through the creative use of video cameras. Be Our Guest, Bird Jones and Healed collaborated on various artworks and performances as part of an exhibition called Be Our Guest at Oriel Davies Gallery with the Grow Guest House and Visit Wales. Reviewing the exhibition in Artists' newsletter, Ellen Bell wrote, "Prior to the rise of the 1970s, cheap package deals for Magaluf and Benidorm, holidaying at seaside guest houses was the main option for the British working class. An extension of the boarding house, these were meant to be a home from home, affordable, convenient and friendly. Be Our Guest, featuring work from over 30 artists, is a wry look at the institution of the bed and breakfast and its awkward smudging between what is public and private and stranger than a guest. In one of the bedrooms, Burd Jones and Heald's The Swing projects a juddering line of light across the floor in which a child can be seen swaying back and forth. Such imagery holds us together in the warm embrace of universal memory." The projects were commissioned by Oriel Wrexham, Contemporary Art Gallery, Arts Council Wales, Betsy Cadwallader University Health Board, North Wales Clinical Research Centre, Oriel Davies and Visit Wales. Park in the Past is managed by a community interest company which has been set up to restore and manage Faggle Lane Quarry in North East Wales, primarily for the benefit of the nearby residents of Hope, Caergurley and Pennyforth in Flintshire. It aims to create a national centre for excellence in experimental archaeology, ecological restoration and conservation, appealing to enthusiasts, students, researchers and environmentalists. The earlier slide explores visual and written examples of projects undertaken with groups of intergenerational people in various community places that are within and outside of academic settings and institutions. Park in the Past has formed from the community's engagement with a disused quarry in their specific area and is still in its initial stages. Once quarries have been made safe, they are often used for leisure areas such as campsites or motor vehicle racing tracks, but the reclamation of others is more difficult. Removal of vast quantities of rock can change the very shape of our environment. Working with people and communities from Park in the Past and others in Wrexham, such as the regeneration of Kevin Mower, to grow their potential, the artist researchers propose to network of disused spaces, quarry spaces in Wrexham and Wales, work with the Children's University and Arts Council Wales, Creative Leeds and Schools to create a children's voice, to question and necessitate what should happen and be developed in these spaces, to create spaces that are beneficial to the people of all ages and sustain their environment in an ethical way, especially to enable young people to positively impact on theirs and future generations' health and well-being through nature. This image captures the essence of ecological citizenship and questions our roles as citizens within communities. It raises questions about our collective efforts. Are doing the right things to promote sustainable change and empowering the next generation with resilience? The image shows a popular old children's play area situated on the banks of the beautiful River Dee, which is teeming with wildlife, being replaced by a shiny new metal play area. The result is a costly structure that requires maintenance, that is not environmentally friendly and not accessible for all. The message is clear. Can we use these spaces better to become better citizens and help ecology thrive? Can we do more to embed and encourage proactive change in our communities by using spaces and materials in a better way, a more thoughtful way, using design? This image is of Chester Zoo's Nature Reserve, which is part of a 10-mile nature recovery corridor to restore wetlands, traditional orchards, hedgerows, grasslands and wildflower meadows across Cheshire. This is on their website, but open to public for free to engage with nature. It's a great example of how a piece of wasteland situated next to the car park has been turned into something meaningful where generations can learn. Creative Testbed, Mais Parquio Criadagol, Creative Car Park, it's a collaborative project between TPOW, Kim Inspire, ADO and artist Margia Bonarda. In the context of developing an experimental new space on the car park roof of TPOW, the partners are exploring how the sensibilities of co-production can be applied to artistic practice to benefit the creativity and well-being of local people. Initially, a group from Kim Inspire, a mental health charity, have worked with artists Maria Bonarda and John Merrill to plan and design the garden space, which includes in the first instance a shelter, outdoor workshop and storage space. Kim Inspire are the core group and have led the design activity. However, they are continuing to include other partners in this activity such as Bom de Cymru, a group of Portuguese elders who are keen gardeners as well. There are currently ambitions to thread this green strand beyond the roof and throughout TPOW. This project therefore continues TPOW's ethos of collaboration and forms part of a wider inquiry into constituent-led methodology for cultural institutions, encompassing several strands of activity that are important within the programme, namely useful art, adapting, responding and developing to cater to emerging and changing needs. 2. Growing and building strong partnerships with local, national and international partners. Thirdly, developing green, ethical and sustainable business practices. Fourthly, makers and markets, fostering new commercial opportunities for artists, makers and traders. This project is in receipt of Arts Council of Wales Connect and Flourish funding, and TPOW is now ready to share the creative green space with a wider audience and is seeking proposals from creative individuals to trail artful creative activities within the rooftop. Llanarmon Dyffryn Ceiriog Food Pantry was started during the COVID lockdowns in 2020, where a group of volunteers worked together to distribute cooked meals to people who were vulnerable and or isolated. As the pandemic subsided, the group that had coalesced around meal deliveries reorganised themselves around the idea of a local pantry. In short, surplus food from local supermarkets is brought into the village hall for collection by local people, regardless of need, as this is about avoiding landfill as much as community resilience and bringing people together, which is the origin of the word citizen. In the next stage, we, the researchers in this project, would like to collaborate with artists like illustrated here, Kajal Modi, who is a multidisciplinary artist and researcher, to engage communities in conversations about culture, sustainability and climate. Kajal facilitates a unique co-creation practice incorporating illustration, live art, sound, video and workshops to create lively and situated encounters between people, organisms and ecosystems. Thank you for listening. If you know about similar examples of ecological citizenship and would like to share with us, please do get in touch.